Hey guys, and welcome back to a new nerdy geeky podcast. And today we're gonna go over power. Now, power is a source of all different superpowers. It could be like the control over money, it could be control over like all sorts of technology, but the type of power we're going over is from comics, video games, and fiction. So, so power is very dangerous in the wrong hands. Take take the anti-life equation, for example. The anti-life equation is essentially like this math equation that has the ability to mind control people. And Darkseid is after it so he could rule the entire so he can rule entire planets. And if I was mind controlled by the anti-life equation, I would wish that I was put out of my mercy. Because because if Darkseid wanted to, he could tell an entire army of people to go turn themselves into like parademons or something. And another case is with Marvel and with the Infinity Stones. In the Avengers series, not Earth's Mightiest Heroes, I think it's Avengers Assemble or something. There's this one episode where the Avengers have the Infinity Stones and it messes with their heads. And each stone has a different power, and each of those powers may be messing with their heads, which if you have all the Infinity Stones, that's bad. But if you have just one of those Infinity Stones, you could probably do a lot of damage. If you had the Space Stone, you could go anywhere you want. And if you're someone like the Hulk, you could do a lot of damage with the Space Stone. You could go to Asgard and just wreck the entire place if you wanted to. But with all the Infinity Stones, you can do a lot of damage. You can just do that and half of the Earth's population would be gone. Power is something that cannot be wielded by just anybody. Because in The Boys, if you never seen The Boys before, it's essentially what if superheroes were real. And there's this dude called Homelander who is essentially a bratty version of Superman with parent issues. And if something offends him, oh boy, you will be turned into a nice cooked dinner. And he is a more realistic and more bratty Superman. Minus the strength and the flea's breath. He has power that he doesn't wield responsibly. And that's what makes him dangerous. He doesn't have the capacity to even understand what that even means. All he knows is if he gets offended, then you better you better you better pray to God or anyone you worship to try and get your life spared. Even heck, there's this thing called the Amazovirus, and what that does is give people powers. If you have superpowers, you are not gonna last very long. If you don't, you get superpowers. In the case of Superman, Batman. And I forget what issue it is that Superman gets depowered by a totem, I think it's referred to as. And in this comic, Batman gets Superman's powers, and every time he fights crime, he gets more harsher and harsher, till the point that it gets so severe that Batman has to get reminded that he's becoming even more harsh on his beatdowns. And Batman, if he ever got superpowers, I have a feeling that Batman will become very dangerous and very violent. Superpowers are not one to Power is not one to be too kind if you don't have the sort of mental capacity to control them. Power is this unnatural force between good and evil. If you have the control to control these powers, then you will understand that when you pull your punches, your power will be at a weaker strength where you're not going to be able to hurt anybody. But if you are evil and do not care, then power in the wrong hands will be very dangerous. Lex Luthor has gained so much power to the point that all the times he has gotten powers, he has become a god. Such as in, I believe, Justice League. Either Justice League or Justice League Unlimited. So, Lex Luthor was waiting for the time where he could actually get rid of Superman once and for all. So he had a little piece of kryptonite that he carried with him at all times. And when the Justice League went to where Luthor is, Luthor had a attack of epilepsy, and when he woke up in the hospital, the doctor told him that he was very, very ill. And when he said it only affects Superman, the doctor said long exposure to kryptonite can actually induce very ill sickness. So Lex Luthor got a harness or a special vest to stop his terminal illness by Ultra Humanite. And when he went to the doctor, the doctor said that his very severe, terminal illness was gone. And that was due to Brainiac's nanites. And when Lex Luthor was trying to make a body for Brainiac, Lex Luthor underwent a transformation between Lex Luthor and a hybrid of Brainiac. And when Lex Luthor escaped with Brainiac, Lex Luthor told him that they could become even stronger. So Lex Luthor went to a place and absorbed nanites, becoming a god. And in another Justice League show, Lex Luthor and Sashi, Wonder Woman's villain, they went to Themyscira to get a amulet so Lex Luthor could become Zeus, the god of all gods. And in All-Star Superman, he made a Superman a Superman serum. And in the comics, in a comic series, which I forget the name of, there's this doctor who made a superpowered serum, and as long as you have the funds for the serum, you can get superpowers. And the doctor said that he was not qualified because the doctor knew that Lex Luthor was gonna do some bad. And when Lex Luthor found out that he was qualified, he did what the doctor expected, which he committed crimes. And there's this thing called the continuity stone that I think Deadpool found it, or he made it somehow, which the continuity stone is a black stone that has the ability to talk to the writers. So whatever you want to do, whatever you want the continuity stone to do, it will grant you the ability to talk to the writers. Say if you wanted a Marvel and DC crossover, the writers would write that into the story. And at the end of the Deadpool comic where the continuity stone is featured, the writers disposed of it by, I believe, putting it in a box. And another case of power is with the symbiotes and the poisons. Everyone should know about the symbiotes, but I will give you a quick recap for the people who do not know about symbiotes. Symbiotes are these alien parasitic creatures that latch on to hosts, and they are from the planet Clintar. Now, there's this dude named Null, the King in Black, and he actually made the first symbiote, which was all black, the Necro Sword. And the symbiotes have the ability to latch onto hosts, and they have the ability to make their host stronger at the cost of sanity. The more you use a symbiote, the more the more mad or insane you become, depending on the person. It just if you're not a crazy person like Cletus Cassidy, then the least it will do is give you highly in, highly intense highly intense aggression. And it also has the ability to adapt. So if Spider-Man ever decided to keep the symbiote, he would be he would be too dangerous to leave crime fighting. So that's why he found out that the symbiote is alive. And it went to Eddie Brock, and Eddie Brock has the ability to produce. Eddie Brock has similar abilities to Spider-Man, and that's why he has the white spider logo. It's because of Spider-Man. And poisons are the enemy to the symbiotes, which I don't really know that much about poisons because they're probably obscure Venom related villains. Poisons are essentially much stronger than symbiotes. And both of them are probably very dangerous and and are and don't wield power responsibly. And if you have any type of power, you must wield it responsibly. If not, the power can become too great to handle, and you will become wanted by the police or the military, which in Prototype there's this project, I think it's called Project Blackwing. I think I haven't played Prototype in a while, but in the first game you play as someone called Alex Mercer, and it's like some type of techno organic thing that allows you to make all sorts of like blades and whips and such. And the military wants Alex Mercer because they deem that he's a threat. And that game is very fun and it makes you feel very powerful. And I think Alex wields his power in the beginning in the first Prototype. I think he wields his power responsibly. But in the second game, he's sort of like, ah, throw all that out of the window. I'm evil. and he infects another dude who doesn't have the exact same powers, and I believe he wields his power responsibly. I haven't played Prototype 2, but that's essentially it for the Prototype series. In the beginning, I believe Alex Mercer wields his power responsibly, but when he realizes the truth, he sort of throws all good good survival, whatever you want to call it, out the window. In the sequel to Prototype, I believe the main character of that wields his power responsibly, but I don't know if it's the same case with Alex in the first game. I don't know if this new protagonist uses his powers responsibly all the way through the game. I don't know, but power is an unnatural, dangerous force to be wielded responsibly. You just gotta have the mind, the heart, and the willpower to to control it. It may be not the the power may not be resp- a responsible energy, but as long as you're responsible for the power that you possess, then I would say you're fine. Another type of power is chaos energy from the Chaos Emeralds. The Chaos Emeralds allow Sonic to go supersonic, where he has increased speed, flight, and all sorts of crazy powers. And on top of the Chaos Emeralds, there's Shadow the Hedgehog, which he is supposed to be called the ultimate life form. And for a good reason, because he has like these power cufflings, because he has so much power within him. If he doesn't use them, he could cease to exist. And guess what? He can also use the Chaos Emeralds to become Super Shadow, which, spoiler for Sonic 3, but maybe he can go super in the Sonic comics, but he can also become like, his super form is I would say a reddish gold, because I can't think of the actual gold color. And and Shadow is not very powerful in his regular form, then I don't know if he's even powerful in his super form. Because, and that was sarcasm, because he's darn more powerful in his super form, let alone without his couplings, because his power is from here in his base form, and it's all the way up here in his super form. And when he has his power couplings off, oh boy, he's unstoppable. Unstoppable and dangerous. Don't get me started on anime, because anime superheroes, they don't even have a limit on how much power they can have. Because if you are at, say if there's an anime that has like 166 episodes, one, you are very dedicated. Two, the anime hero is probably more stronger than what we have here in America. Because I can imagine Darkseid is strong because he's a new god, but if you face him up against Goku or any Dragon Ball related character, I think Darkseid's gonna lose. Because anime is very crazy when it comes to power scaling. Another crazy character when it comes to power is Alien X from Ben 10. Alien X is an omnipotent god. And I know there's a lot of omnipotent gods throughout fiction and superheroes and media, but Alien X is the most powerful alien in the Omnitrix that we know of. It has been stated that there's even more powerful aliens than Alien X in the Omnitrix, but we never get to see those aliens. Alien X could think of something and it would be gone. Or it could just appear into existence. There's an episode of Ben 10 Omniverse where Ben goes to trial because of what's his name? The I forget his name. He's the incursion ruler of the incursion army, and he had like a device called the Annihilog that can create a universe. So when he pushed the button, Ben chose Alien X to recreate the universe because this is a device that can create universes. And since there was already a universe where Ben Rook and the Brito brothers were, that universe would be whoosh, erased. So Ben chose Alien X to recreate the universe. And in another episode, Ben was trialed for creating a universe without permission from the celestial sapiens. Which this Galvin lawyer brought up that celestial sapiens are recreating the universe all the time, and they literally show you all the different incarnations of azimuth, from classic to alien force to, I believe, omniverse. And Ben has the ability or has the option to fight another celestial sapien. And in that episode, he talks to Bellicus and Serena to, quote, give him the keys to Alien X, and they can go argue in a corner for all eternity. And after that, Ben has full control of Alien X. So if Ben wanted to, Ben could rip apart the entire universe and make it where he's famous or something. And there's all sorts of powerful tools. Like the Infinity Gauntlet. Have the Infinity Stones. Half of the world is snapped into two. And if you snap your fingers again, the rest of the world is poof, dust. There's so many different characters that have gotten celestial powers. Hulk had the Enigma Force. Spider-Man had the Enigma Force. Captain Marvel has Kree DNA. She's the most powerful character. She's one of the most powerful characters because there's like a billion different powerful characters in Marvel. Don't get me started on the Batman Who Laughs, because the Batman Who Laughs, let me tell you about the Batman Who Laughs. This alternate evil Batman, the Joker, had a toxin that infected Batman to becoming the Joker. And this Joker Batman is so messed up in the head. He got a version of Bruce Wayne who became Dr. Manhattan, and he had evil versions of Alfred do a surgery on him to make the Batman who laughs the Darkest Knight. And the Darkest Knight got rid of Perpetua, who is a powerful cosmic being. The Darkest Knight is pure evil. Pure evil. And the Darkest Knight is crazy. Because he's an evil god. And that power is too irresponsible. I don't... If any of these characters who are very powerful existed in the real world, the world would be doomed. Doomed, I tell you. Power is... That kind of power should not be wielded. Wielded. Because it's too dangerous. If Batman... Let me give you a scenario. Or let me ask you a question. Do you think Batman is worthy of Thor's hammer? And if Batman is worthy of Thor's hammer, do you think he could have the mental capacity to control Thor's hammer? Because I believe, which don't count me on this, it was stated. I don't think it was stated, but I heard it from a video from Needle Mouse Productions, and he did a video. He did a video on if Batman would be able to be worthy of Thor's hammer, and I believe he said that he wouldn't be able to wield it because of the mental capacity of how much power Thor's hammer has. And if Batman could not control Superman's powers, then what makes you think that he would be able to wield Thor's hammer, not having those same predicaments? Power is too irresponsible. It's too hard to control if you do not have the mental capacity of wielding it. Power is a dangerous force. Heck, some people in real life have metaphorical power, and they don't wield it and some of them don't wield it responsibly. They think it's like a toy to them, and they can do whatever they want. If a president makes a law where you can't do this without permission and it becomes illegal, Yeah, they have the power to do that, and we are powerless to stop them. And if they go to jail, they have the money to get bailed out because they're the president. They can do whatever they want with their power. Just because you have power doesn't mean that you have the mental capacity to wield it properly. Power is energy. Power is so much energy that it will warp your mind. The Infinity Stones are so much power, you can't resist their power. And in the episode of Earth's Mightiest Heroes, I think it's called, the the Avengers have the Infinity Stones, and for the entire episode, Black Widow is trying to get the Infinity Stones safely away, and she did very well, but towards the end, she used she let the Infinity Stones get to her, and she became very powerful. Very powerful. As much power as the Infinity Stones have. And if anything happened to Black Widow, she wanted Thor to get she wanted Thor to get rid of her because she knows the Infinity Stones are too much power. And in an alternate reality where the Avengers are evil, yeah, they they are they are very mighty and very powerful together, and all of them could be a serious threat. And it's beyond crazy how heroes in another reality, they are they are not so deadly separated, but if you have an entire team of them using their combined power, it is very dangerous and no one can stop them. It's not like physical power, it's sort of the power of like strength and such. But if you have like superpowered members and you have like very powerful enhancements, like Tony Stark's suit, yeah, you can be very dangerous. It is so beyond irresponsible. It's not even a joke. Because if Spider-Man wanted to, Spider-Man could real Spider-Man could put you in the hospital if he didn't pull his punches. Which the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man in No Way Home after losing Mary Jane. He said, "Alright, I don't have my girlfriend. I'm sick of this. I'm not gonna pull my punches anymore. So I'm gonna start taking all my anger and all my frustrations out on the criminals of New York City. And I'm gonna send them in to the hospital where they can never recover because I did that much damage, because I'm that strong. And I don't give a crap anymore. So I'm just gonna wail down my anger onto the villains of New York City." Power is that dangerous. Anyway, guys, I think this stream has been at a at a good length, and I don't plan on streaming so long. If you enjoyed this stream, like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next video or stream. Bye, guys.